So, in this course, we're obviously going to assign you a number of readings. You already have a list. We will try and keep it short, keep providing you with excerpts. We don't want you to read the full text. And so, what we're trying to do is to make a selection of text within the text that we would like to read. Okay. Now, when you read these texts, you should do that with a very clear approach. We're here to learn something from these texts. This course is guided by, its content is guided by a question, which is what it means to be educated, right? So, when we enter into, say, Greek times, which is the first two sessions, what do we do? We take a set of questions, guiding questions to this text, and our task together is to try and answer those questions. Okay? So I want to just talk about some of those questions. Right? I have 4 questions in mind. You can add to those questions. We can together develop some sub questions as well. But essentially, your reading of the text is going to be guided by 4 questions. Number one, what is the substance to be educated in this time and space? Now, what do I mean by substance? We're not talking about material in the sense in which we understand the materiality of the things around us, but we're talking about human nature here. And there's a reason we're using the term substance for it. You just conceptualize it as some sort of a Play-Doh, right? The stuff that children play with. And then we imagine how that Play-Doh is conceptualized by various people in different times. So we will notice throughout this course that the Greeks conceptualized human nature differently from, say, the Muslims. And both of them have conceptualized human nature differently from, the modern scholars of education and so on. But you're also going to find some continuities. So we will notice that there are a few things that are similar in the ways in which the Greeks thought about the person that's being educated, and in the manner in Muslims thought about it, and then the Renaissance scholars as well as the Enlightenment scholars, and then we follow that up by the 19th century Americans, the Victorian education, and then moving towards our context, starting with the colonial education and moving all the way to how we have been thinking about the educated subject in Pakistan post 1947. Okay, so question number one: what is the substance to be educated? Question number two is: what is the mode of justification? That is to say, by what means are people being invited to recognize their educational obligations? What sort of justifications are being offered, and or the reasons to be educated. Right? And those reasons we might also find are different in different times, as well as we will also trace lines of similarities between those times. So that was your second question. What was the first question? What is the substance to be educated? The second question: what is the mode of justification, the rationale being offered for education? Okay. The third question is about the regimen. Okay. That is to say, what are the practices and means through which educated persons are to be produced? Okay. So that brings us into the realm of curriculum and other ways in which the schools have been educating systems, the education systems have been educating children. finally, and which is the most important thing, the purpose of the course itself, is what are the telos. Now, telos is the Greek word for an educated person. Okay, so for the end product, sorry, for the end product of the process of education, right? The educated person, of course. And so, what are the telos? That is, what do we really want to see after the process of education has been completed? What do we really want to see in the educated person? Right? And when we are able to answer these questions for each set of reading, for each era, we will be building a repertoire of what the education looked like in a particular time. And then our effort, as all the course participants, including ourselves, would be to try and make those connections between what you're looking at in that particular time to what you experience as education in your time. So we will look at the continuities as well as the discontinuities in the ways in which people have thought about what it means to be educated. Now that would make the big chunk of the response papers that you're going to be writing for us, right? And so every response paper is, in one way or the other, is going to be a set of answers to the four questions that I've just mentioned.